Travis Reier and Chris Walsh, the BamaOnline.com staff from outside Friday's practice at the University of Alabama. The lid lifter for spring drills 2012 for the defending BCS national champions, Chris. And the first day of spring around here has become a lot like the first day of fall camp in that you come out to really take a look at a lot of the newcomers, and those guys were definitely on display today. Between junior college transfers and early enrollees from the high school ranks, an impressive looking group of newcomers at Alabama.
Yeah, 8 new players out there today. It's a little chilly. It's 60 degrees with 17-mile-an-hour winds. Makes it feels like it's probably about 50, but you know, it'll warm up a little bit as they get into it a little bit more, I think. But yeah, 8 new players. Physically, they look good, and we're going to have lots of photos on Bama Online later on today. But the guy that I can't get over that I keep looking at is Alphonse Taylor. I mean, the guy's just huge. And I think you have to wonder if he can pick things up pretty quickly. He might make a contribution immediately.
He looks exactly what they want their nose tackle to look like. He is, from head to toe, this guy is stout, to put it nicely, and he's well put together too. This is a guy who hasn't really been in a college strength and conditioning program, so really what you think about is a year from now, what is this guy going to look like? But yeah, very impressive looking young player, and that's a big question mark, obviously, at the nose tackle position. Brandon Ivory obviously coming back and can work in there, but beyond that, it's kind of a mix and match situation for the Crimson Tide in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, exactly. And Jesse Williams, we know, is going to get, take some snaps there at nose tackle. Did last year, when he relieved Chapman, and they kind of want to see what he can do a little bit in both spots, but I think it's really going to be more about the other guy's development. If they can find that other guy who's going to be the third lineman there, who, whether it's a nose tackle or an end, then they can adjust and move Jesse around a little bit.
With the understanding that it is day one of spring drills, the linebacker positions I found interesting, where some of the newcomers landed, and also some guys who are being experimented with a little bit also at those positions. I thought Dylan Lee, one of the freshmen, a guy who played strong side linebacker in high school, working with the inside linebackers again. It's individual drills, first day of practice. Also at the outside spots, though, Brent Callaway, the former running back, getting a look there, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out because, again, got to replace a lot of experience at those outside spots.
Yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity for Callaway in particular. I mean, they lost a lot of guys, especially on the outside. Well, just all over in linebacker, they really lost a lot of guys, and they have to replace both starting outside linebackers. Here's a guy who, he's got the right body type, and if he's got the drive, and we think that we do, it looks like he's really kind of changed, physically from being a running back to linebacker already. He's a guy who can really start moving up, I think, in the depth chart. But the guy that kind of caught my eye a little bit in the linebackers was Tanae Patrick, who was working with Nico Johnson during some of the individual drills. So looks like he's going to be in the mix in the middle.
Yeah, that inside linebacker rotation is going to be interesting to watch play out. Nico with a lot of experience. C.J. Mosley has played a lot in the sub packages. And Trey DePriest, obviously, the very talented young sophomore, very much in that mix.
We should mention Mosley was out there and it looked okay. So
yeah, Mosley did. He was moving around quite well, so that was very good news. The secondary, another area of big concern. The corners coming in from the junior college ranks, Dion Ballou and Travell Dixon. They look like they're physically what you would expect of junior college transfers. Both guys look good on the hoof. We'll find out. As you said, with Taylor inside, it's going to be a question of how quickly those guys can pick up the zone concepts, I think. A lot of these guys come in able to play man coverage.
Right.
They play a lot of man coverage. The way they play zone here, though, as you know, we've seen it. Can you not only take it from the meeting room, but can you apply it on the move? That's the trick, and that's the way it'll play out at corner, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I don't think they're just going to throw them in there and just, see if they can sink or swim. They've got a couple guys, D. Milliner, obviously John Lester is going to be around, so they're going to have guys that they can shadow and kind of learn a little bit on the fly. But yeah, it's by A-Day, you're going to have to be able to do quite a bit.
Offensively, looking at the wide receiver positions, that's another area we knew coming in would be a question mark. Some guys you feel good about, Kenny Bell, DeAndrew White, Kevin Norwood, but a lot of fresh faces at that position, including 2 freshmen in Amari Cooper, and also Chris Black, who got their first workout there this afternoon.
Yeah, the first three guys that you mentioned there, Norwood, Bell, and White, they were the three who were leading the guys through the drills, which really didn't surprise us at all. But the three suspended guys, Bowman, Carswell, and Duran Carter, we did not see them. We didn't expect to see them either.
H-back position, got to replace Brad Smelly. A couple guys working there that you thought you would see there. Harrison Jones and Brian Vogler. Looks like it could be either one of those guys. Tight end I thought was interesting. Behind Michael Williams, Brandon Lewis, who was also sporting a new number out there this afternoon.
Yeah, and I want to jump back to Vogler a little bit because he's one of those guys that every single time I see him, and he's so tall, he could really add kind of a different dimension, I think, if they use him at H-back. But yeah, Brandon Lewis, it looks like he's in the mix more. At least that's the way it appeared to me. So that's obviously a good thing.
Running back position, we knew Eddie Lacy would be out, so a great opportunity for those guys. Behind Lacy, at least coming into spring drills, Jalston Fowler, D. Hart, Blake Sims, and also another true freshman, T.J. Yeldon, another guy who looks really good in shorts and a helmet.
Yeah, the thing that gets me about the running backs is just you've got four guys there, and they're all so different physically. They're different kind of running backs. Fowler is just so powerful and so forth, and it's Yeldon is just he's so much taller than what we've seen. He kind of reminds me a little bit physically and. Don't jump on this one, but Darren McFadden type, body type. So
Adrian Peterson,
yeah,
a little bit, a taller guy that you haven't seen around here. I guess Glenn Coffey you have to go back to a guy that was even close to the body type. Glenn wasn't tall, but he was longer, not as compact as Trent Richardson and also Mark Ingram. That offensive line, no real surprises there. The first five, at least, in individual drills, about what you would expect across the front, highlighted by Barrett Jones at the center position.
Yeah, and it looked like Chance Warmack wasn't doing a whole lot out there, so it's there's probably nothing there. He wasn't in black or anything, but the backup positions, it looks like they're kind of moving guys around a little bit just so they can have bodies. They've only got 10 scholarship guys on the offensive line right now, so when we get down to A-Day, that's going to be a little interesting to see. If they get one injury, you're going to have a walk-on playing on the second unit.
Yeah, maybe a guy like Kellen Williams they asked to swing between tackle and guard this spring, and Ryan Kelly perhaps between guard and center.
Right.
You don't realize how much you're going to miss a guy like Alfred McCullough until you don't have him around. His value was immense in terms of providing depth, but it's also comforting to know that Barrett Jones in a pinch, if you have to move him to left tackle or somewhere, you can do that too.
Exactly.
You lose quality at one position to do it, but he can play all along that front.
We should mention also in black today, and just watching on the side, was Ari Kwanjo and Eddie Lacy, so they are both out there, but they are not doing anything.
I hope that's about it.
I think that's it. No offensive coordinator.
At least, Doug Nussmeier was out there, and Lance Thompson, it's like he never left. He was right there working with those outside linebackers.
Exactly.
So, no real highlights from that. They were doing what coaches do. They were coaching. That's about it.
And we were reporting.
That's going to do it from Friday's practice. For Chris Walsh, I'm Travis Reier. Keep it right here on BamaOnline.com for more coverage of Crimson Tide Athletics.